Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW on TEW 2020. We are here week 2 of March in 2024. I'm going to try to change the format up a little bit thanks to some feedback. We're going to go through a quick rundown of the card. Of course, as has been the case for the past couple of weeks, the Continental Classic continues. The Young Bucks versus the Private Party, the Gunn Club, as well as Brody King and Buddy Matthews of the House of Black. And in our main event, the Bullet Club's Wheeler Yuta and Bryan Danielson, will take on FTR. Our other two matches on the night are that we see Mercedes Moné against Julia, and Hikaru Shida will have a match against Ruby Soho. In addition, we will hear from Swerve Strickland, as well as Jamie Hayter. Moving on into the show itself, the Young Bucks pick up a loss in this one. Private Party grab the win after a submission of Matt Jackson. I believe, so I know that they at least, the Private Party that is, have beaten the Young Bucks before. Kind of like one of the first big upset losses that the Young Bucks took. I don't know if they faced off since, but if they haven't, it'd be very convenient to have like kind of, I always like it when there's someone who just like has a certain kryptonite piece. Someone who, you know, if there's whoever just can't quite beat one person, and they just always cause trouble. But maybe Private Party is that for the Young Bucks. After this, we see Eddie Kingston in a pretty generic promo area, talking candidly to the camera. He says, I get it, Roosh, Ali. I'm someone that you got problems with, and you know what? Succeeded in taking everything away from me. Here's where you're all mistaken. I've never changed who I am. I'm someone that is gonna fight for everything I got inside of me. I'm someone that is ready to kick ass and fight, because that's what I do. I'm a fighter, I'm a brawler, I'm someone that isn't gonna back down from shit. So either of you can come after me whenever and wherever. I'll make sure you can see what a pissed off Mad King can do. So presumably, Eddie Kingston kind of getting himself a little bit more fired up against Roosh and Mustafa Ali, who have caused him problems in the past couple of weeks. The Young Bucks are then backstage, and they look completely pissed off. They're yelling about how they've completely blown their chances in the Continental Classic, and that the most that they can get is a single point. They're approached by ABC during this, who say that it's probably a good thing that they're losing, so that means that they can focus on whatever they're doing as executives, and that their mockery of the Bullet Club with their elite imagery can finally be shoved off their screens. The two brothers look at each other before deciding to give super kicks to the members of the Bullet Club Gold and storming off. So, gotta get the classic Bullet Club versus Elite storyline. I don't actually know if this has happened, but I mean, it would make sense if it has. If not, well, either way, I mean, at the very least, we have ASOS and Chris Bay doing that. Mercedes Moné defeats Julia because of some interference from the Renegades. Coming on out, not a clean win, but still a pretty good match. Mercedes 78 ratings, actually really good. And Julia with a 65 of her own. Considering that Julia's not all that popular in America, pretty good for her rating. The Renegades mess with Julia at the end of the match, which gives the win to the CEO. Julia, surprise, surprise, is pretty pissed off about this, and she tries to take out the Renegades, who've quickly gone up the ramp, where Lee Moriarty and Leo Rush are, and they get between Julia and the other members of Mercedes Moné Entertainment. Julia is yelling off mic that Mercedes knows that this is a tainted win. She's not going to be able to just easily get away from things, and Mercedes, she's kind of, you know, she's doing her dance, she's kind of ignoring things. As far as Mercedes is concerned, Julia is still a, as far as Mercedes is concerned, Julia lost, she won, that's that. Now, one thing that I do eventually want to make clear, Julia is not a face. She is going to, I still need to figure out exactly how to give her some more heelish tendencies. Of course, eventually bring Utami and Suzuki back in, not as Julia's lapdogs or, kind of lackeys there. Kind of have all of them in as independent heels. Maybe I'll change Suzu to a face. Maybe I'll change one of them to a face. I don't know, but she's just kind of the main one that I think of turning it into a face. But Julia right now. She's not a face, but she is acting face in this feud. That's something I'm going to probably do quite a lot. The Royal Flush are then seen at what looks to be some sort of a luxury suite, talking into the camera. They say that she is someone who needs to watch her back, that even having a match tonight doesn't make her safe from their reach. Julia Hart insists that Shida is more than welcome to go for the TBS title, but it's not going to be easy to reach her. Julia extends this challenge to the rest of the AEW roster as well, clearly saying the Royal Flush will always have the greatest hand, have the upper hand at their disposal. Still not a great promo group. Julia Hart is still very young, very inexperienced. Tessa's not the greatest speaker, but she's the best out of all of them, which is kind of depressing, especially because, again, I always need to reiterate this, Tessa Blanchard is on a short leash. She starts causing problems, she gone. But, yeah. After this, our second match of the Continental Classic for the tag teams, the Guns pick up the win over the Black Souls of Buddy Matthews and Brody King. Austin Gunn submits Buddy. Not bad there. The Guns are celebrating the win over the Black Souls when the Tron comes up and Pac shows up. It says, the Gun Club, you don't think we've forgotten about what you've done to us before, how you attacked us, and how you're always trying to make an impact or whatever nonsense. Camera then zooms out to show a beaten down Jay White and Juice Robinson's, with the Lucha Bros keeping their feet on the Bullet Club members' chests. Just kind of a similar, well, it's not a similar shot, but kind of a similar idea to, I think, I haven't actually watched the show in a while, but I think the Bullet Club Gold had a really cool shot where they have their entrance and Pac is beaten up right at their feet. But anyways, kind of reminiscent of that, but reversed. Pac continues and says, "Two can play at this game. Go ahead, try us. You know how to find us. You have the balls to, though. You're just gonna need help from what other goons you have out there in the Bullet Club. This one up's a poor decision for you Bullet Club bastards, and you will pay for it." So yeah, with the Bullet Club now somewhat getting involved with the Elite, question is, will the numbers game start favoring Death Triangle? They're still outnumbered a little bit, but regardless. After this, we see Swerve in a video at a nightclub, with that clubbing happening in the background as he talks to the camera. Just, you know what, last week you had some strong words from a crippled cowboy, Hangman. You're struggling with all your shit. The hospital, I'm out here, living my life and being the best damn thing out there. But, you know, don't think that you're just going to get away scot-free from everything, even though I hope you're done. But here's the thing, I can move on from this. I know that I'm worth more than having to deal with some, what was it, anxious millennial cowboy or some bullshit like that. You're not the only one with favors from Tony Khan, Don Callis. See, after a little scuffle a while back, I got the right to do whatever the hell I want, Tony Khan. So, TK, I'm added to that match. All that match that Don Callis wanted so much, I'm in there. Me versus Takeshita versus Samoa Joe. We're gonna make it something special as well. We're not gonna make it just something way down the line. Next week at Collision, main event, your new champion Swerve Strickland. Book it, Tony, or you know what's gonna happen. I also literally just realized that I forgot to change the location, but Daly's place is close enough, I suppose, to where we were on tour. I think we were last in South Carolina, so screw you, Georgia, I guess. Karashita, what a shock, defeats Ruby Soho, but they do have good chemistry, which could be something to note. Mental note there. As promised, the Royal Flush begin to file out after the match, slowly stalking their way towards the ring. Shida looks ready to fight all four of them when Jordan Grace's music hits, and she comes out with a mic and says, sorry, I'm just not going to let this happen. We've got some history with a few of you out there, but honestly, that's not even the main concern here. Kind of like, Jordan probably gets into the ring as this is happening. She's trying to make sure that Shida doesn't get beaten down. And she even says, you know, into the mic, and she starts addressing Shida, saying, you know, I know you're one of the best women you know, you're one of the best women that this division has seen. You're one of the best ones that this division will ever see, I think. You know, I'm not going to let these wannabes that want to impede on the best women's division in the pro wrestling world. I'm not just going to let them take you out, but, you know, I'm going to be honest about this. I'm not going to do this out of the goodness of my heart. I'm not doing this because I just want to help. Now, I want something out of this. See, I was watching. I saw that Little Miss Hart challenging for that TBS title, right? Well, you know, I want a piece of that after you crush her. And, I mean, Julia, if you're willing to still offer that belt to anyone at any time, far be it from me to deny you that opportunity to lose it to me whenever you want. So, yeah, I have to check which show I actually have on TBS. I know, obviously, the marker in the top left shows that Dynamite is on TNT. I think that's just because the generic graphic that we have shows it on TNT. Because I know in real life right now, Dynamite's on TBS, Collision on TNT. So, whichever show that TBS carries, that next one, I think, will end up featuring Jordynne Grace versus Julia Hart. After this, we see a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette and Jamie Hayter. And, of course, the big question is about Jamie Hayter's big return from injury last week. Jamie says, the whole time I was injured, I was watching AEW every opportunity that I had. One of the most glaring things to me was this whole timeless crap that Toni Storm was putting out there. Now, I've never been a huge fan of her. I'm not going to lie about that. I've never liked Toni Storm. But all this shit, all this, whatever her stuff is going on, it's ruining AEW. But, you know, Athena, I know that you're a fantastic worker, and I know how much you've been dominating Ring of Honor. Don't think I haven't been watching that either, but please, Athena, let me have this opportunity. I need to be the one to make things right in AEW. You know, I'll let you have the first crack at my belt after me, but I need to remind the world just how good Jamie Hayter is, and just how good this women's division can be outside of the hands of this joke that Toni Storm has become. And once we clear that, Athena, then we can start showing the real work rate that we can handle, that the women's title can have matches with two top-tier workers like ourselves. But first things first, I think I gotta go shut down Toni Storm's little movie. So, yeah, just a quick thing there as well. Jamie Hayter wants to, of course, get a chance at the women's title. Tries to jump in line ahead of Athena. We'll see how that goes in the future as we make it to our main event. What a shock, a very good rated match. 79 overrated, not overrated, 79 rated performance overall. Pretty good there. Not bad at all. FTR, though, pick up the win over Yuta and Danielson with the big rig. Nearly going the full 20-minute time limit. After the loss, Bryan Danielson looks angry at himself and at Mr. Yuta. And he starts yelling at the youngest member of the BCC about why he wasn't there to break up the pinfall. Yuta has no answer, which Bryan is also pretty pissed at. He yells off mic that 2 weeks after the Tag Team Continental Classic is done, he's going to have some words with Yuta in the ring. And the tournament round of the Classic, because next week is the finals. Well, the final of the tournament part. Then we have our top two teams have their final match. Then, boom, they collide. They get whoever wins between each block, and then they let the match one. You know how it works. Show is rated 77. I think that might be our best rated show overall. Pretty good there. I'm gonna be honest, I booked this a couple days ago from when I recorded it, so I don't fully remember some of the things I was gonna say around there, but still, I think this was a pretty good performance, a pretty good show. I probably definitely could have moved ahead a couple more storylines, but regardless, 77 rated show. Of course, if you have anything you want me to improve on, anything that you want to see from this series, just let me know. I'll see what I can work into the plans as we move on into Collision.